New school here. We're on First on Valentine's Day. It's around noonish. We have an officer. I don't think was shot, but maybe shot someone. The ambulance just left, I think, with the suspect. Down here, they're talking about where the officer popped off a taser. He's showing everyone where he popped it off. Something to do down here. He was saying he was showing these guys where he popped off a taser over here. And then whatever happened right there next to that Burien police car. You could see all the stuff on the ground and stuff where they were working on the guy or whoever it was. So we just have a big crime scene, like 3 or 4 blocks long. See if we can try to get some kind of info. How's it going? I'm good. Good thing it wasn't an officer, was it? Shot?
I'm not sure. I arrived late to the party.
Yeah, he told one of the officers, because I talked to a lot of the Burien PD, Bo and all them, and they said the officer shot, but I don't know if he shot at someone. They were talking about over there, the guy popped off a taser, the officer.
Right.
So I don't know if they were chasing someone. I'll get hold of Hayden or someone later, Mandela, and find out what happened.
You didn't see what happened?
No, I was just on the way to the store, and I knew something serious happened. They were just putting up this tape, but I didn't see anything. They just told me that, so I was just glad to hear it wasn't one of our officers. Because, man, that's horrible, man. Oof. I'm just hoping it wasn't an officer that got shot.
I don't think it was.
Thank goodness. I think they just popped off at a guy for whatever reason, and they capped him a little bit. I don't think he was dead, because they had the ambulance doors open, and it seemed like they were working on him, and then they were escorting him. And they didn't seem like they were in a hurry, so I don't think it's life-threatening, whatever. But
yeah, we get the best medic unit.
Oh, dude. When I was so happy when Bo decided to stay.
Yeah.
God, because when they said he was leaving, I mean, even though he'd still be in the county, but when they said he was staying, I was so happy to hear that, because he just knows the pulse of this place. And it trickles down, because normally you would see different stuff in an agency, and you just see that there's no leadership. But in here in Burien, you can just tell it starts at the top.
Yeah.
And all of our officers are great. I've put in 3 accommodations on our officers.
Oh, that's
even
good.
the sheriff, Deputy Smith, because he does a lot of stuff in the community here with the roadways and stuff, and I just thought it was great.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, man. So
we definitely need the support.
Well, I try to do what I can. I'm harmless to everyone. A few of the female officers kind of look at me, because I do a lot of filming. I got over 100 videos, and me and my wife travel. Kids are married and own houses now, so our 27th anniversary is 2 days. So I get today off, which is beautiful. So 27 years, we're going to go back where it started when we were young. We flew to Reno, did it. So we're going to drive down there and have a good time. So, one break. How's it going, my friend?
Make sure Metro knows
okay.
that eastbound Southwest 152 is shut down at first. They cannot go through.
We have pulled up Southwest 150, 156. We also have a team car that is in the area to assist with on-speed traffic.
Thank you. Well, apparently the Hackles buses didn't get through.
I was here when that lady got shot.
Oh,
when
the chiropractor?
Dude, there was kids trying to cross. Me and my wife were on the bridge, and I had to tell the kids to get back, because they were shooting at these people right here.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and then he swerved out, and luckily there was an officer like 2 or 3 cars behind him, and he took off, and we didn't even know the lady got hit, but we were right here. And then the guy that got shot in the face.
Yep.
Dude, I got footage of that, but I'll never ever. That's just not I would never show any. I've never even showed it to my wife. It was just so horrible.
Right.
But man, it's just too many deaths in Burien, man. Just a lot lately. And then the guy, whoever that was at the post office recently, I mean, it's just too many deaths around here lately.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I think it's just the climate of just the world right now. Just so much shit's happening.
Yep.
It's just swirling around too much where you just can't keep track of one thing, and just shit like this happens. Man, this is just horrible.
Yeah, sometimes there's no words for it. You know?
There isn't. I mean, even, I don't know the whole story, but just anybody getting hurt, or it just sucks. But some people bring it on themselves, and nothing you can do about it. They just have no common sense or something. But luckily, none of the officers, you guys weren't hurt. That means a lot. Whatever happened where all those boxes are. That's where the guy ended up, or whoever it was, ended up laying right there, it seemed like.
Yeah, I was down at the jail interviewing someone, and on the way back, heard what was going on, but couldn't tell exactly what was going on.
You had to get
the first part of it.
Yeah. I mean, it must have just happened maybe 10 minutes before I got here, because, like I said, they were working on them right there. It wasn't no hurry. They were just putting up the yellow tape right here. Now, let me ask you, is that red tape, that's the crime scene tape? And then the yellow is just a barrier?
It's an inner perimeter.
So that's like where the crime scene probably is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like trying to distinguish them.
Yeah, and then we try to maximize it a little bit bigger.
Just to keep, yeah, I get it.
Sometimes
There
they
could be
have to make it a
evidence
little
sitting
bigger.
right, I get it.
Right.
Yeah, man, I get it. I was waiting to see Bo out here. I don't see him. I would think he'd be out here somewhere. He's here somewhere. No way this happens on his backyard and he's not out here somewhere.
We got a couple captains out here. So.
Oh, good. Is one of them Troy? Is that it?
He's a CTAC.
Is that where Troy's at now? Really? I didn't know that. I noticed that CTAC car was here pretty quick. Or whatever. I don't know why. That was out of character, it seemed like.
Yeah, that's the nice thing having two contract cities so close to one another.
Well, I always notice when I stop and something's going on, there's always like a Burien and a King County. They're always one of each.
That's because of overtime sometimes.
Yeah,
Depends on an incorporating. I might be working overtime in Burien.
I get it. Yeah, Mandela's my guy. He's just such a great freaking officer, man. He cares about, because when I first met him, he was like, yeah, I go out to the community and do all this stuff. He was checking our property for safety, all lighting and all that, with a couple of other cats. And I was like, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, this guy. So I went out and we donated our time feeding the homeless and
Nice.
transform Burien. I'm retired now, so I try to just keep moving.
Keeps you busy, right?
Yeah, if I don't, you die if you don't keep moving.
Yeah,
So you
I
got to
agree
keep
with you.
moving.
I
So, but he, it's unbelievable. I went outside to ask some of them. They're like, oh yeah, Mandela, he always checks on us. He always, if he a couple bucks, he'll give it to us for some coffee or what. And I was like, I had to put an exclamation on him because I thought he was pulling my leg.
Nice.
I thought he was bullshitting me, but no, he wasn't. And then Hayden, Officer Hayden?
Yep.
Really great guy, too. Me and him are good buddies, too. You got one of your buddies coming up? Right. Sergeant or something in that Suburban. A lot of city workers showing up to block off the streets. You notice that?
Yeah, it's good, though.
That's real good.
We just don't have the numbers we used to.
Yeah, Hayden said you guys are down in Burien.
Taking her back to the precinct. Okay, so. No, but that's good to hear.
She must have been involved. Now, like in a situation like that, the person, if someone did pop off, one of you guys, now you guys got to like go through a whole thing of, here's my weapon, this is what I did, this is what, I'm sure it's a nightmare.
Well, it's an outside investigational team, so.
Oh, really?
Valley, outside agency will investigate.
Nice. I guess that keeps it transparent, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, you guys got a
part of
tough
the
job
news
to make decisions, like split freaking decision, man. And right, wrong, or indifferent, it's just what the choice you have to make,
better grab my phone.
All right, brother. Be safe today.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate your support.
Absolutely, bro. Let's go and see if this guy's with some news or something. We're gonna cut this short pretty soon. But from what I understand, there was a shooting over here by these guys. If you weren't with me earlier, someone popped off a taser. This cat actually walking towards us right now, I think it's the guy that popped off a taser at whatever situation it is. You good, man? All right, cool. Be safe, bro. Yeah, he's the one that, I guess he had to show a few of the sergeants or detectives, like where he popped off his taser. Now this lady's going back to the precinct. They said they're gonna take her, so she must have had something to do with it. I'm not quite sure. But just overhearing them, they don't try to be too quiet around when they're talking. So I can kind of pick up a few things. From what I understand, we're gonna break it down real quick. Someone was coming from this direction. I don't think it was in a car, because if the guy popped off his taser, I would assume he's not popping it in a car window, but maybe he was. But I don't see any suspect cars anywhere. There's no extra cars like that was involved with whatever happened. So let's get back to it. So someone was coming this direction towards me. That officer I just showed you popped off his taser, and for wherever it happened, where maybe that white truck with the yellow lights and the sheriff there, that's where I think it happened, around there, because that's where, if you look down there, you can see they're standing down there. So that's where I think the taser got popped off. Then whatever happened got through First Avenue, through 152nd, and then it ended right here. Whatever it is happened right there. With that, two Burien cops, looked like they stopped whoever it was right there. And then from what I understand, they popped off a round or two in someone. And when I got here, the ambulance was sitting where this white truck is. Doors were open. It wasn't in like they had to hurry up and get this guy to the hospital or anything. They were in the back of there working on him. This sheriff just got here and just leaving. I know after that, they got out of the ambulance, the EMTs, they BS'd for a few minutes, like they weren't in any hurry with the suspect, which I'm assuming who was in there, because there was another few officers here, and they followed that ambulance to the hospital. So I think the suspect is at one of the places now, hospitals. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. There's some lights down the street too. Okay. Anyways, this is what's going on. I'm thinking it was about a half an hour or so ago that this happened. But yeah, we've had a shooting right here in Burien and First Avenue, right here on Valentine's Day. I think it was maybe around 11:30 noonish. And that's just a guesstimation, but there was a lot more vehicles here a little bit ago. I would have started filming sooner, but trying to just get the pulse of what's going on and talk to a few of the officers. If you've been with me a while, talking to one of the sheriffs. Pretty cool cat. Yeah, I don't... Maybe go to that Honda dealership. They must have heard it, seen it, whatever. Or we can hit Taco Bell. They've probably seen it, heard it. Be cool if we can get the story. Well, I'll get the story in the next few days. You know the hippie. I'll go out and just start asking some damn questions, see what's going on. But I think we're going to cut this short because all the excitement is over. But I thought I would go live. I don't really go live, but something like this where there was a shooting involving an officer, let's just say, if that's the proper way to say it. I found out an officer was not injured, was not shot by the sheriff, but it was a suspect, I believe, that was popped. Got a pop on. So, one of our guys here. All right. I think we're going to call this one short. We'll find out details to come, and I'll let you guys know what we're at, what's going on, who it was, what the problem was, who did what. We'll see if we can get some info on that. But other than that, hippies, you know, if something goes down, I'm going to try to get it for you. But New School Hippie, we're out. How do I shut off?